Hello, everyone. Yeah, nice talks this morning. And before the panel discussion, I have a question from our audience for Professor Wang, who is asking whether China will have the laws to protect space resources exploration. And Professor Wang has already answered. If you want to add some comments, you can state in Chinese is fine. 王老师，你想根据刚才的问题再补充一下吗？就是有一个听众问到，中国是不是有太空资源相关的法律？
谢谢主持人。
能听到，王老师，您可以简单讲一下您的
谢谢主持人。这个太空资源立法呢，大家尤其是这个航天界、空间法学界的朋友啊，都一直非常感兴趣。我们现在没有太空资源相关的立法。大家也都知道呢，就是说我们现在正在呢这个推进航天法的立法过程中。因为在“12.5”和“13.5”呢，航天法呢从“12.5”开始已经是就是连续3年都进入了这个“12.5”、“13.5”全国人大的这个立法规划之中。但是呢，就是很遗憾呢，就是这个到现在呢，就是我们的航天法呢仍然是在这个立法推进过程中，并没有还没有这个完成，还没有完全完成。实际上对于太空资源立法这个问题呢，我们没有相关的法律，但是呢，这个作为主管部门呢，一直都对这个问题挺关注，非常关注。包括我们在联合国外空委法律小组委员会啊，支持这个成立这个太空资源方面的工作组，包括我们对这个商业航天这个以及非常这个肯定的这个态度，包括我们也就是看到近年来中国商业航天公司的这个方兴未艾，我觉得这些都是未来立法的基础。而且因为航天法呢，就是说我们虽然酝酿了这么多年，我个人相信那么就是未来的航天法，一定会就是说，反映我们这个一些这个当前航天发展以及经济发展以及整个商业航天发展的一些需求吧。我想我呢就能做这一些补充。谢谢。
好的，谢谢王老师的补充。那我们接下来就开始我们的圆桌讨论了。王老师讲的 Hal, can you listen to the English channel to understand the questions and answer by Professor Wang? I hope that works. Yeah, the question was asking about the space resource law, right? And Professor Wang answered that the space law is undergoing, and we have a session specifically talking about the laws and policies tomorrow afternoon in Beijing time, and welcome everyone to listen to that session for a deeper discussion. Thank you for Professor Wang's question. Now let's start today's panel discussion for education and jobs. I already asked a question to Hal about the background needs for students who would like to pursue a career in this industry. I wonder what was the answer for other two guests, Professor Zhang and Meng about this question. What kind of background or knowledge do a student need to prepare for this industry before he or she really join in? Professor Zhang, can you share your opinion?
Thank you. Okay, we'll be pleased to kick off this one then. Also, Professor Abbud-Madrid will talk about this maybe first. But I guess, as I said, my opinion is really this is where this area is a big involvement. So therefore, there are a larger background of knowledge and skills required for this kind of industry, and therefore they are we have to prioritize the skilled education training in the area, and to make students employable at the end of their education. Given the space resources exploration is a key word, so my thinking is really the first type of fundamental skill required is really to do with mining side, to do with the mining. So either the mechanics related or the automation related. I think that probably the area that people will relatively easily to find job in this area. And also by choosing this area, I guess the student will have well positioned themselves in terms of for the next 30, 40 years, because this obviously this is the future of this industry, and also the future of from our society point of view. So therefore, this is a very promising profession, and so therefore, I think this is the area they should have.
Well, thank you. Meng, do you have any comments on this?
Yeah, my background is astronomical observations. So I think space mining is very interdisciplinary topic. As I have mentioned, the different people, different young students have their own personal interest, their personal view about this field. So I think they can participate this space mining industry with their own personal interest, their personal background. I think astronomy, planetary sciences, mechanical engineer, electric engineer, automatic control, flight control, system design engineer, communication engineer, computer related majors, aircraft, navigation, guidance control, servo control designer for the spacecrafts, and radio frequency system development engineer, optical system engineer, all these kind of engineering background and the scientific background, and mining, of course. So it's really a very interdisciplinary area. So I think our approach is not to confine to a certain specific topics, but we should keep our eye open. And I think with more young talents joining us, this field could be redefined, continuously could be redefined. And when AI, the industry is developing so fast, and we certainly can take benefits from these areas, for example. So I think it's a very, we have open boundary, but we do not constrain which specific area should be related, which area has no relevance. I think we should keep our eye open.
All right, thank you.
I think, let me add, I think watching Meng's talk got me to think that if you look at what's needed for resources on Earth or anywhere else, you first need to know the resource with enough certainty. And that's one thing that we don't have right now. So I think the very first wave of people working on space resources will be about prospecting. They would really need to know, could be asteroids or moon, whatever it is. We really need to know, yes, you can detect probably there's iron or titanium, but how much is it and what is the distribution? So remote sensing, it will be very important, like the work that Origin Space is doing. But at some point we have to go down to the surface and really start seeing, well, how much is it and how deep does it go? If you're looking for water, for example, is it mixed with a regolith? If you're looking for oxygen, where are the minerals that you need to extract it from? So we need to do that first. So the work that Origin Space is doing, I think it's important to get as many eyes on the surface. I mean, you're doing it right now for asteroids and all that, but at some point, if you can direct that to the moon, that will be very useful, using all the cameras that we need. But definitely at some point we need to go down. As you know, in the mining industry, and in the oil and gas industry, you drill every few meters to really understand the distribution of the resource. So that's going to be the first thing. That's going to include drilling machinery, autonomous, working on extreme environments, and that's actually where the opportunities are at the very beginning. Obviously, we need to do some testing of systems of extraction at the very small level that maybe go at the same time. But yeah, definitely that is an exploration and prospecting.
Yeah, thank you for your comment.
Dr. Yu, I guess I totally agree with both the panelists. I guess Professor Abbud-Madrid, I think I agree in terms of probably need to separate stages, maybe in the next 5-10 years. What Abbud said is a great for our immediate professional training and area. But Dr. Xu, what Dr. Xu said actually is a broad area, pretty much include everything. As I said, this is a very broad area. And to me, in terms of how we get there, how we come back, is not our business, because we are space mining, and this is probably, aerospace type of job. It's not our job. But in terms of how we funded, the resources, how much deposit the target planet has, and that's the first step. Is really the remote sensing work, perhaps even geospatial work, how we design the scene, and how can make the navigation guidance in order to guide our robotics. And certainly the other first step is also to design of the machinery, because without the machinery, we have to make it light, long durability, and low energy consumption, that kind of thing we need to look at. So that's the immediate areas that the market will need for our generation and our output of the training professionals. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for your comment. I have my last question for you guys, and after that you can shoot questions to each other and to see what's others' thought. If the space resources industry a good choice for young students, do you think it's a good time for them to join this industry? If so, why? If not, how many years away?
I think what Professor Zhang said is very important. If you look at a student right now, he's looking, not like me, I'm looking at the next 5-10 years, but they're looking at 50 years of professional life. That is really exciting. I think students right now need something new for their generation. Just like in the early 60s, people were, young people were looking at rockets and going to the moon, and they were excited about it. I think space resources is the new phase. And so they got a long way to go. And that's going to keep them very excited of what's coming up and the technologies that can be developed. And for the terrestrial industry, I think it's also exciting to develop technology that is very advanced, because you can bring that to Earth, and we can use that type of automation, that type of resilient material. So a lot to be developed in the next 40-50 years. So for young people, this is the place to be, I think.
Okay.
I would like to echo Professor Abbud-Madrid's comments. I guess if I were the student, if I have enough capability, and if I am intelligent enough, this is the right area because we are looking for the next 50 years, pretty much cover the whole professional life of the students. Think about it this way. We are all scientists here. And we know when we do our work, we have to keep adjusting, if not changing, our focus of research, focus of area, just because of the rapid development of technology. If we were able to choose the right area, if we consistently working in one direction, we can make in-depth of, discovery, or big findings, or even a good, career perspective. The area have a good potential in the next 30, 40 years. And even beyond, because if you look at my slide prediction, we are talking about 50 years time frame. And if we choose this area, pretty much you have guaranteed your professional life in your lifetime. Even in the future, people will come live long time, even 100 years or even 150 years if we can. And then the next 50 to 100 years, if we choose this area, you are guaranteed you will consistently be able to work this big area and on the way through until your end of your professional life. So therefore, it's a good choice.
And if you think about it, all my professional life, we've been talking, well, at some point we're going to go back to the moon. We're going to go back to the moon. I remember 30 years ago that I started like one, and we've been waiting and waiting. And all of a sudden this year or last year, it was incredible just to see the excitement of bringing samples again from the Chinese mission and all over the world. You bring 2 kilograms, but all of a sudden it's possible. And now this year, you're going to have missions from different countries going. All of a sudden, this thing is back in a very energetic way. And it's exciting to see that. And we've been waiting for so long. So young people, I think, have a great opportunity to get started. I mean, it's going to be starting very quickly. And I think I didn't get your last slide, Professor Zhang, because it was in Chinese, but somehow I got the feeling that you said something like, the competition is on now. Let's make a difference or so. This competition among countries is going to really accelerate this, which is good. I think it's going to be really good. How do we go about using that information? It's going to be important. But I think this competition is good this time. Yeah.
Good. Meng, do you have any comments on this?
I think I fully agree that it's an exciting field to join. That's why we're here. That's why Origin Space was established. But when I talk to young students, they care about 50 years, but they also care about whether they can survive in the next 5 years. When they have just as a recent graduate, they want to find a job to grow. They can dive in and grow quickly and have a better CV when they find the next job. I don't think young students will stay in one company for like 10 years. So they have to see there's a real industry, there's a real job opportunities worldwide. I think the problem is that when I talk to young students, they always got excited. They want to join us. They are very talented. They have capability. But after a while, they see the reality. They also doubt, just as I have mentioned, in the last 30 years, maybe the field was not so fast growing as a historical record. So they worry that maybe it's just a wave. It's not that so true. It's interesting as a research project, as a research field for them to have fun, but cannot be considered as a lifetime career path for the moment. I think that's the difficulties I'm facing recently. I don't know if I have.
Sure.
When you have, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I also totally agree, because when I said in my comments, I said if the students are intelligent enough, if they are capable, because the space mining is a long way to go, and therefore in the short term there are some problems in attracting the student. If the students are not intelligent enough, not capable enough, not a kind of goal-driven type of a person, then it would be difficult for them to choose, because there are a lot of uncertainties and also a lot of challenging in learning so many areas of knowledge and skills. I agree with that. That's something I would say. However, having said all the previous things, however, the student need to have a kind of strong interest and curiosity-driven, and also love astronomy. There are certain pre-requirements or conditions that the student need to have. That's my comments.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm out of my questions.
So I think on one hand side,
yeah, go ahead.
So I think it's really important. I think I had the same opinion maybe 2 years ago. I want to find really brilliant, talented students can think far, can look far, can have a far future vision to join the field and develop the field. That's our hope. But on the other hand, I think we have also to consider the other 99% of the young population. We can only provide, we cannot only provide jobs and opportunities for just 1% top students. We have to also consider to have a healthy structure of the of young people who want to join us. We cannot only have talented people to do all the work. So somehow we have to build a consistent, healthy environmental structure to protect students and let them to, not to worry about their future jobs, to worry about their future lives. They can have a decent life by working on their just working on their personal interests. Like if they're interested in space mining technologies, they don't need to worry about too much of the life conditions. Yeah, so usually people ask me, so if I join a space, Orange Space, how can I, grow to certain positions that I could be, I could have a brighter future. I mean, you have to think for themselves, not to think only for the area. I mean, it should be more interactive.
Okay. Let's see, for example, and how if you have any questions to ask for our Chinese colleagues, please go ahead.
Well, it's interesting to listen to the conversation because, from the outside, what I see is a lot of activity in China. I mean, it's just, I don't think a month doesn't go by without learning about a new plan, a new mission. They're in the far side of the moon. China is on the near side. There's on Mars. They're testing systems. So I think from our point of view, we see a lot of activity, and that will drive a lot of opportunities. I don't really know, but I think there's a lot of opportunities for people to get involved in all sorts of missions at the national level. I don't know in the company world. I mean, Origin Space is the only company that I know that is involved in this, but I don't know if there's a lot of opportunity to work on those companies, or it's mostly on the space agency, which I see is growing and is very strong, but I may be wrong.
You're absolutely right. I think there are growing more opportunities at the national level. So I think that's why commercial companies can also find their own position to make a complementary role to this national effort. I think that also applies to other countries like US and Europe. Commercial aerospace companies can be can get benefits from NASA, from ESA. So I think it depends on what things we're talking about, education and jobs. So I think it depends on what young students want to do, what kind of system they want to join. So either they can join national systems, they can do, I mean, at national level, there's always a 5 year, 10 years, even far future plans. So their missions one by one, so they can live on it, live upon it. But for commercial company, I think it depends on our business model. Depends on, we have to do things fast. We have to change our plans. We have to, you know, collaborate. It's more flexible, and it depends on people's, you know, it's not well defined system. Okay, yeah. I don't know how to explain. So some students, I think many of young students want to have a job. I think not 90% of students want. So if the job is reliable, you can see the future, they want to take it. So and we always encourage people to think far. Space mining is, you know, is exciting, but they consider it as a more risky or not so reliable area. So they can choose aerospace industry for communication, remote sensing. I think because we are doing similar things for mining purpose, so they can join us to do what they are doing. But I think less students have the vision for that far. Somehow I want to give people more confidence, and they can see far from what Ordinary Space is doing. We're not doing traditional aerospace activities. I think we are aiming far, but it's very hard to deliver this picture. I think people can understand the picture, but just you know, talk about the picture, but not really believe it.
Yeah, and let me ask Professor Zhang, because everywhere I go, and talking about space resources, Europe, Australia, here in the US, it seems like the mining schools are going through a period in which there's not much excitement about terrestrial mining. I don't know if that's the case in China, maybe, but if I go any schools, they're down to very small numbers, and they're trying to see how to excite students by saying, well, if we introduce some space mining concepts, maybe that's going to excite students. Is that the case in China, or you don't have that problem?
Yes, Professor, it has been the problem, because in China, the mining, when people refer to mining, they refer to coal mining. So coal mining is a bad image, you know. It's always kind of black and pollution and very dangerous work underground. Because in China, mining activities really happen predominantly underground. At the coal mining, there are tens of thousands of people, you know, coal miners underground every day. So therefore, nobody like it, because too risky and too dangerous, and also even for the salary probably is not that high to attract them, and also the professional hazard has a lot of problem with them as well, and also in China probably the professional protection, particularly in the high level of law enforcement, probably is not that you know, enforced well. So therefore people don't like it. That's true. And every year when we have a new student come in, you know, we have problem with that. We have to educate them. You know, China University of Mining and Technology is not just mining, not just coal mining, you know.
Yeah,
we have a lot of exciting development in this area, and we cover very large area, and the mining is just one of 20 schools in the university, you know.
Yeah. And I see that there's excitement on students in robotics, I mean, in automation, and that's one way to connect space with Earth. You know, both of them, we're going to need very advanced technologies, and so this could be a way to marry those two.
Yes. So you're right. Yes. So I guess in the next probably 5-10 years, we will probably still experience difficulty in attract high quality student into this profession. Because as I said, we still have a long run. And I think in the next probably 10 years, still a difficult time. But as I said, if I was a student to start with the university, probably in the next few years is a good time, because by the time they graduate with masters or PhDs, it will be 10 years on. And that time, the opportunity will explode, we will have a explosion of opportunities by that time. Particularly in terms of the society has developed into such a stage that people consider a lot about by the quality of life, the curiosity to meet, the deeper mind of the existence of life. So therefore, they want to do something interesting, not just probably for the salary, for surviving, because everybody pretty much doesn't have the surviving problem.
Yeah. And the moment that we start seeing, now that we have a base by China or by the US, and now you have to have people up there and you have to sustain them, and now you have to have systems and upscale them from just a small experiment to actually have a base, that's going to be exciting. I think that's going to make it so that now you see it tangible. So let's hope that that's the way it goes.
And also the associate sectors and the disciplinary areas actually are also very exciting as well. For example, the remote sensing, we have seen a clear, rapid development of space technology, which really pretty much using the remote sensing things, the sensors from different bands of frequencies. And we have seen that already. And in the next generation, there will be, we'll say, the age of space. So and also the intelligent thing, artificial intelligence, robotics, all the things are very big and they are closely linked. So the way probably we need to educate people that really to put it into a big picture and have a common education at beginning, then later on to have a focused area of concentration. So that probably is the way to move forward.
Absolutely.
Welcome, Mark. Well, we have a new panelist.
I have seen a handsome image come out. Mark, welcome.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome, Mark Sano, who is a professor at the University of Florida. Sorry.
That's right.
So now we have a lawyer in the group, so we need to be careful what we say.
Well, I was not prepared for a colloquium this evening, but only to test the technology, but I'm glad to make everyone's acquaintance, and let's take it as it comes.
Good.
Yeah, since we're talking about the education, you're also a professor at university. You may share your opinions in the space resources industry, how the education is going, and what do you think about the student will do.
Yes, I have, I of course am educating the next generation of space lawyers to understand what the international and domestic legal regimes are that will be governing these space activities. But I know that there are programs that are also preparing the entrepreneurs as well. So this is an incredible time of new entrepreneurial invention and imagination. We're just at the very beginning. And my expertise has to do with the legal aspects, and I'm planning on giving a presentation tomorrow about how to stake a claim on the moon.
Okay.
And whether that is even possible. Of course, it's not. But there are some protections, some legal protections, and I'm going to discuss what those are, because they do exist. And I think that's what many investors are wondering. If we are going to invest $1 billion to mine minerals from the moon, can we stake a claim? Are there any protections? Or is it first come, first serve? How does it work? So that's the issue that I am working on.
Yeah, sure. Looking forward to your talk tomorrow. Yeah. It sounds sounds clear. So you complete your test job today. Yeah.
Yes, I wish it. There are some very good laws on the books already, but we have some progress to make. And I look forward to hearing from the entrepreneurs, from you all, what is needed. Mm-hmm. And then the lawyers can get to work to help make that the reality.
Good.
We need to work hand in hand.
Mhm.
Of course. Yes, as we just discussed, the space resources is a multidiscipline industry, right? Not only lawyers, financial background, and policy background. Of course, science and technology. Yeah.
Yeah, one important thing to understand is that what we're trying to do up in space is what we've done here on Earth for hundreds of years. So we're trying to do the same thing, technologically, engineering, legal issues, environmental issues. So this is new ground, and it's an incredible opportunity to do it, let's say, to do it right, and learning about many things that we have done here on Earth, and starting fresh. So I think it's incredibly exciting to do that.
It's beautiful. Is it Angel or Angel?
Angel, that's good. That's good, Mark.
Angel, yeah, I love your office, and I like the statement you just made as well. I think we are all trying to bring the very best of our terrestrial experience to bear as we move to the moon and beyond, and bring the very best to bear, and to learn from our mistakes, and to leave our frailties and errors behind us.
Got it, Mark.
Yes, I like that. And I have been looking, as far as, I'd love to hear everyone's view on this, but I have been looking from a legal perspective to the model of Saskatchewan in Canada as the leaders in the mining industry. Does anyone have an opinion on that?
Not really from my.
No. Yes, I know that I'm a lawyer, so I'm used to talking to lawyers. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, good to have you here, Mark. And as I said, looking forward to our talk tomorrow. And I see Professor Zhang is offline now.
I'm still online, and I switch off my video. Here we are.
Okay. Do you have any questions to other panelists?
No question, the invitation.
Okay.
So, colleagues, you're welcome when I think the international travel ban is lifted to visit COMT. And COMT is, the kind of leading organization in China in higher education, as you know. So we do a lot of things, and we have a lot of common interest, and certainly you're very welcome to visit China with the orange space, with the COMT when the time permits.
As soon as the world opens again, I'll be there. Yeah. It's just right now it's a little bit crazy, but
yeah,
I know that this is going to be solved at some point.
Yeah, hopefully to see you guys in person soon.
Yes. Good.
Yeah. How about let's just conclude our panel discussion this morning. And thank you everyone for terrific talks and a wonderful discussion.
Thank you so much for putting this event together. I think it was about time to have this forum, Tianhong. I think getting China involved in space resources is going to be adding to a very fast changing field. So thank you for doing this.
Thanks, Angel.
Okay.
Thank you, Tan Yong. And,
Okay.
Angela,
Thank you, everyone, and have a nice weekend.
Hey,
Okay.
great
Cheers
talking to all
tomorrow.
of you.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
everyone.
Yeah.
Bye.
Good morning.
See you.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night.